How we doing today? I got some music I want you to check out. This artist is under no circumstances. This artist is under no circumstances unknown. I'm just saying it. They got millions of plays on Spotify for a couple of their songs. I think they're one of those people who make songs that happen to hit the algorithm, but like they're not in the mood or time to capitalize on it. But it don't fucking matter because not enough people are listening to this. Not enough people are listening to this. I don't care if she got 89,000 followers. Like, I don't care. I need to do a photo shoot with this person. I'm not even going to misgender them because I don't know what their gender is, and I shouldn't assume anyone's gender. And why am I going that deep into it? Because I just respect, like, I just like this look so much. I like the person's look. I like the music. Anyway. So what's up, YouTube? I was starting my stream today, and I like to give you little stream tips, little tidbits of what I do before a stream, but I want to actually land a more important note to you about what I would like to talk to you about today. Yeah, that made sense. So what I ended up figuring out is that there's a lot of things that I don't know. Now, haha, make your jokes. You're already laughing, typing in the comments. How could you possibly not know everything? You're the paradigm shift. You hold the keys to the future of humanity in your fingertips. First of all, you're chatting right now. You're chatting right now. I was sitting there trying to process in my head. I want to make an instrumental that sounds like the song that you're hearing in the background, so I'm putting it together piece by piece, and I'm like, here, I'm gonna do it the same way I always do. Let me try to figure out the chords first. Let me then try to figure out the BPM. Then let me figure out the melody or the rhythm of the underbelly, the bass line that it's flowing through. I take all my lessons because if you guys don't know, I'm college certified. I took music in college as a major. So I do this whole process of like counterpoint all the way up to like trying to figure out the voices and everything, and then all the different instruments. And usually once I get the drums down and then I got the melody down, I can just put them together and then add my own spin. I've done it before with a song that I haven't dropped yet on YouTube, nor have I dropped it on my poetry thing, but that's beside the point. What really got me, what really started to like make me want to even say anything is I was looking up little tiny tutorials on how to do this in FL Studio, how to do that in Ableton, what are certain DAW things, and I started getting into like learning again. I rarely watch tutorials for anything other than give me the answer because I know how to use the program. And I started to recognize instantly, what is that impatientness? If this was a college course that you had paid thousands of dollars for to sit in for, let's say, they usually, I'm not sure if courses still run this long, but you got your 90-minute courses, you got your 75-minute courses, and then you got your 2 blocks, depends on which college you go to, obviously. But if I was sitting there in front of that college class and somebody was explaining to me how to do this in Premiere Pro, and then your homework was to make a video showing that, I would easily ace that. I would have all the patience in the world to sit in that classroom and learn from that person. But what I realized is like, I don't got that same patience. I don't got that same patience for like YouTube videos. I used to tell my students all the time, half the shit you learn in college you can learn on YouTube. Are you willing to sit there and pay attention to that YouTube video the same way you'd be willing to sit there and watch or listen to a professor? And it started to spiral me into all the different types of content that I consume on a daily basis, not only on stream, but all the content that are like on a daily basis. And I'm thinking about how much of it is about keeping my patience, how much of it is keeping my soul intact, how much of it is keeping my ADHD in check. Can I put it in the background? There's all these different rules that I have to apply to everything to keep my interest. And I'm wondering if I make content that's like that. And I think that's why I keep having, and that's what made me like go all the way on this tangent, is as I'm watching it, it's like, damn, he's explaining it in a good way, but like, this just isn't appealing to me. It's too, and that's where I landed down on it. It's too non-emotional. It's straight up, hey, look at this cool thing you could do. And then I started realizing myself as a teacher, that's why so many kids were so interested in my classes. Because it never was just, here's this cool thing you can do, and here's what it does, and now go do it. It was always, here's this cool thing you can do, here's how it applies to more than just one sector of your life, and then here's how to apply it in a way that's creative towards you. Now, obviously, with certain tutorials and things like that, you can't go all the way deep into like all the modes that you could change it to. And if I give you this option, that means you can combine it with that option and this option and that and this and that. I get that. But at the same time, I also realize that a lot of the fears that are probably a lot of creators have is that they don't even realize it because that's not something we talk about. But we fear saying things that are important to us, but not conveying it in a way that gets the algorithm running, that gets our brains working the way we used to when we was teenagers. We're still addicted to that form of content because that content is what dominates the platform. But we're so disconnected from thinking that it's about our age and that it has to serve us that we start to look at it and we're like, damn, this hyper editing and all this stuff that they're going through in this video, this shit is crazy. This is kind of a cool thing, you know? This is kind of a, wow, we, this, that, the other, bing, bang, boom, they're doing all that. Where do I fit in? It's not easy to be, and I'm not saying this for the sake of it, but I'm saying it for the purpose of the YouTube video. It's not easy to be me. And I recognize that. Like, I wake up and every hour I'm probably doing something different. So it's impossible to spend 8 hours finishing up a song because in those 8 hours, I should have streamed, I should have eaten, I should have went for a walk, I should have smoked, I should have done this, I should have created that, I should have done this, was my uploads, was my YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, this, that, I get it. But I'm here to tell you that I think a new point of focus for you could be, does it make you feel like you would sit there and watch that whole thing? That's what creators have to focus on now. If you would sit there and like, I'm gonna have to replay this VOD to make sure all the volumes and everything work when I go to upload this to YouTube. I'm gonna sit here and say, was this worth it to say on a live streaming platform? Now I understand that live to YouTube is a different pipeline that requires a different level of thought that we may not have the intricacies of managing, whether or not it hits it harder on Twitch or else the numbers boost up in the algorithm for when you drop this on YouTube because your Twitch audience is following you to the YouTube for the things they miss. There's so many things that you can't even begin to, there's so many things that you can't even begin to put into the view, the field of vision. And I see all these videos about, oh, you're a streamer with 2 viewers, here's how to stop being a 0 viewer, Andy, here's how to do this and here's how to do that. And it's like, none of them tell you, yo, it's gonna suck because you're gonna realize at some point, and this is not a slight towards my audience or any audience that I've ever interacted with or anybody I've ever met on this platform, but you are going to find out that there is a ceiling based on you. And that's not a bad thing. Not everybody on this platform should have the reach of Hassan and Destiny. I'm just saying it. Not everybody should have Tommy Innett's reach. Not everyone should have Not Your Average Flight's reach. Not everyone should have RDC's reach. Not everyone should have Matt RPD's reach. And half of y'all don't even know who Matt RPD is because Matt RPD streams in the morning because that's night for him because he in the UK. Or wherever the fuck that Oi bruv is from. And all of these thoughts just stem from the fact that we used to never consume content. We watched television. You know the meme that people say, the meme that people say where it's like, you made me throw off my concentration with that answer because yeah, facts. You know that meme where people be like, okay, let's use this one instead. You know that meme where people be like, oh, I have considered asking for help, but that would make me a burden. Like, you sat there so long quoting Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle show quotes and watching the same Family Guy clips because YouTube was unavailable for like mobile devices for the longest. Like, there's such a level of thought and consideration that you gotta put into how not only has these platforms changed in such a small time, because remember, most of, if not all of these platforms are younger than me. I was alive before all of this existed, and I'm not even that old. I'm not even old by old standards. That's how young these places are. And what we don't corner in on is that feeling of how fast things are changing, and yet they're seemingly running away from us, and we're trying to grab onto our youth, and so much of what we miss, and so much of how we're supposed to feel, and how much our hearts are supposed to resonate with the art that's being created, and it almost feels like none of that's happening. Are you sure it's because none of that's happening? Or is it because it's not being made with you in mind? What changed so fast from the fact that you were 25, all of a sudden 18-year-olds getting different content? Maybe it's because we were so used to doing things a certain way, and then the capitalist life love system said, speak, there you go. Now you do it. Without any of those resources, without any of those friends, without anybody in your corner to support you. Now what? Now what? And a lot of what we're afraid of follows on that same rhythm, that same what happened. And I haven't even begun to get into, which I'm not going to in this one, I haven't even begun to get into what happens if you do get a chance to grab the brass ring. Now you gotta take all those fears and doubts, and you have to legitimately in reality say, those can't exist. I'm actually making a living doing this. I can no longer say I'm not one of the best, because people don't pour their money. People don't, I don't have a new Bugatti. No, I said that terribly. I don't have a new Bugatti. I don't have a new Bugatti. I drink sparkling juice, but not sparkling water, because of an audience that I cultivated from my own two hands. I said, yo, I'm gonna get on this platform, I'm gonna press that button, I'm gonna press the start streaming button, I'm gonna make it work. Now I got a new Bugatti. What do I do now? Am I allowed to still sit there and have those doubts that I'm not good enough to deserve this? But you know that stars, people who got millions, if not billions of dollars, people who be touring, still saying that. So, what do we do in that regard? Well, that'll be one for a future episode. But just know that, like, what you're doing is the correct thing. You don't have to be afraid of, you gotta make it for you. And I know how many people have sat there so many fucking times. Please, I know, said that you gotta make the content for you. It's gotta be something for you. No, what they want you to do is say, make the content that you like and people will naturally come to it. Don't do that. Make content that you would sit in a classroom. Make content that if you could sit in a classroom and go back to high school, that person on the screen would be the person that you'd be sitting up. I'm getting an A in this class. This shit dope. Now you might have bad, you might have bad situations with school. You know, there might have been a lot of things going on in your teenage years through puberty, everything, etc. I know, I get that. Like, there are all these different cases that don't make this applicable. We know, and I don't have the answers for everybody's situation. What I do have is a general overview of, I've been through a lot of shit that a lot of people shouldn't have had to from a very young age all the way up to yesterday. So maybe I'm not too far in saying that this advice could go to those people as well, because those people are where I'm at right now. And maybe we can all make it up out of this together. If we all just focus and say to ourselves, maybe we're not doing the wrong thing. Maybe we're just not pointing it in the right direction. And it's okay to point things in a different direction. My thing is, I don't want you walking forever in the same way, trying to figure out over and over again why it's not working. Because if you really want it, you can get it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my episode for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Please do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified. I'm uploading a lot these days, so if this one drops late, then I guess you're already banging with me. That's what's up. Song in the description below.